So the first group of tests we came up with were all designed around skydiving, which itself can be stressful because it's not normal to jump out of a plane the first few times, no matter how well you know the pilot. But these are daytime jumps where we jump out, the sun's up, and we fall for a minute, we separate, pull our canopies, we all land, and then pop open the cooler, crack open some beers, and talk about how awesome everybody is. If you can imagine a cargo aircraft flying this way, and there's a ramp down back here, and there's 37 guys facing that way, and it's so dark that you can't see anything, but you can smell the thin air, you can feel the cold, and then one after another you jump into the abyss. 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 4,000. So you pull your canopy, and as it opens in two sets of risers. And what you want to do when it's opening is grab the rear set of risers, and you want to help it with its opening, but also turn yourself to the right. Everything that we do, there are definite rules that we do. And one of our rules is we jump to targets that way. The reason that is because these parachutes aren't round. They fall straight down. They're elliptical, like a wing on a plane. They're going to fall forward at 20 miles an hour in no wind. So the reason that everyone turns the same way is that we know that if we bump each other going the same direction while terrifying, it's going to be safe. But if we bump each other going the opposite direction, it's going to be catastrophic. Because if we hit bodies, we're going to die instantly. Or if we smack into each other's lines, we're going to wrap our parachutes up, be thinking about how painful it was to get half of our arms cut off with a rope. And then we're going to die a minute later when we smack into the earth. So that's simulated stress. So once your parachute opens, the first thing you want to do is get down your night vision. And if any of you haven't ever looked through night vision, just imagine 2 empty toilet paper rolls that are green. And we're trying to find all the other jumpers because we're trying to get in line about 10 feet back and 10 feet up because we're going to go to a spot 15 kilometers away that none of us have seen before except on a map. So we're trying to get in line. The lowest guy's got the hardest job. He's going to be the lead jumper. He needs to find a safe place to land. He needs to find a safe pattern with which to land it, but also he needs to see what the wind is doing. Because at altitude, the wind is at our back, but as we descend, it'll start to shift. So without indicators, he's looking for smoke, he's looking for trees or dust, or how birds are flying, or even looking at his feet, seeing which way he's being pushed. The reason that is, he wants to set up a pattern so we can all land into the wind and slow down and stop. Like I said, these parachutes are going forward at 20 miles an hour in no wind. If he screws that up, and we have a 15-mile-an-hour wind behind us, we get to save the Air Force a lot of time, money, and fuel if we all just got into a bus at 2:30 in the morning, drove through the desert at 35 miles an hour, and then all at once jumped into a cactus. So that's a cactus right there. So that course is 3 weeks long, and in that time we'll do anywhere from 65 to 85 of those jumps, sometimes as high as 25,000 feet. We'll lose a few guys out of the course, not because they quit, but because they got hurt. Very easy to get hurt doing that, or because they did something unsafe. Like I said, everything we do, there are rules. If someone violates too many rules, they're unsafe, we have to get rid of them. We don't have time for people that are unsafe. The job's way too precise.